was just a couple weeks ago that my next guest was on the show planning to come up to New Jersey in hopes of claiming the CFFC interim lightweight title. Now days removed, he joins me again. He is the champ, Morquez Clover Forest. How's it going today, champ?
And it's going good. How you doing?
Can't complain, you came up from what I was calling the people's main event. I get a couple messages throughout the day. I messaged you, I messaged your opponent. I said, hey guys, I think you're the main event. I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing things. I can't confirm it yet. I think you heard some things. Rob heard some things. And then by midday, we knew who the real main event was for that card. You move up from the people's main event to the main event. Did that add any extra pressure, or was it just like, the fight's already there? What's it matter if you're second to last or last?
I didn't add any extra pressure, just added more excitement. Like I knew this was the time because I've already fought as a co-main event. So getting the opportunity for the main event, I was like, okay, I gotta show everything. This is the time to show it. I am the main event now. Like I have to show more.
Not only did you have this fight, you had fights like all week. You come in the weigh-ins, you have a piece of like a shirt over your head. The commission bitches about that. You said in the last interview, you said it leading to the fight. You were a showman. We know now what the sheet was covering. We've seen it there. We're supposed to see it. Probably would have seen it when the photos came out from weigh-ins, but we would have seen it in full force at the walkouts. How did you keep your cool during that? Because like you're cutting weight. You're not happy anyway, and then that happens. Like how'd that whole day go?
Man, it was terrible. It was terrible. I don't know why that guy was just so rude, man. Like, I don't know if he was having a bad day or what, but I wanted to save the hairstyle for my walkout. You guys wouldn't have seen it at the weigh-ins. That's the reason I had it covered up. He wouldn't let me wear a mask. He wouldn't let me cover my hair up. He was just rude and telling me like I have to take it off, and then telling me like, he's not here to play games or whatever. But it's like you guys already had that shit for almost an hour and nobody stepped on the scale. We're in a cramped room. You're in there with a whole bunch of grumpy, hungry, dehydrated fighters. And that's how the athletic commission was over there in Jersey. And I found it to be very, very disrespectful. But I already came in there with the mindset of everything's going to be against me. So I already mentally prepared for, you know, the negative things that were going to happen. I didn't expect that as soon as the weigh-ins. I didn't expect that, but I had already had the mental aspect of I got to stay positive. Even when he was saying what he was saying, you can still see me smiling. Like I refuse to let someone destroy my positive energy.
And then on to the next one. Not so much a fight, but as we're going back and forth saying, hey, I think you're the main event. You're saying, okay, cool, but am I red corner? So it still came out cool with the blue behind you. I'm assuming the red would have fed into whatever you had
Yeah.
planned. What was the plan for the walkout?
So first, with the way that they did the corners, it was different. It was I like how they did the corners, but you had some guys that were blue corner with red corners, some guys that was red corner with blue corners, but they had their names down um on the wall. So you would be I was in the same corner with some of the guys that was in the red corner as well. But I can't exactly say what the walkout was going to be now because now I have to save it for another time. But I had something that I was going to do that was going to be I thought would have been pretty sick, but they wasn't allowing me to do certain things. They were restricting me to be like they tried to restrict me to of being myself, which is an entertainer at the end of the day. Yes, I'm a fighter, but I love to entertain the fans. So even with that, the walkout, I still thought the walkout was good, but I thought it could have been better, especially if I would have got that red corner. But if I was able to wear my mask, I still think that I could have done something a little bit more memorable.
And I was going back through my head trying to figure out, like, was there ever any other Atlantic City cards where that wasn't allowed? I always felt like you were allowed to be yourself at the regional level.
Mhm.
I mean, they don't really wear a mask, but you can wear a hat. Like, I guess it's the same but different because it's not covering your face. And
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
don't see. That's the thing. Like even I don't even know. Even the little ski mask thing, right? That wouldn't have put me overweight or anything. Like I waited at 154. And here's the thing, I purposely, if people gonna call it crazy, but I purposely lose a certain amount of weight so I can wear things on the scale, you know? So I go in a little underweight. If I knew I wasn't gonna be able to wear a ski mask, I would have just came in on weight, like 150. I think the weight was 156. You know, I would have just did that, but you know, it is what it is now.
So, we go through the weigh-in fight, the fight for the walkout, now the fight itself. 4 rounds, 5th round if needed. We only needed 2 rounds, and barely 2 rounds. 1.5, just under 1.5. First round, pretty close, pretty even match. You got the drop near the end. You get first round, you're up 10-9. Second round, it starts off pretty close again. You get punched in the face, and the possum comes out again. And you didn't get me on previous fights. You got me on this one. And you got your opponent, obviously, too, because I think he was like, fuck, this is my time. Complete the story, do it. You counter, get him on the ground, grab his neck, choke him out, rear naked stoppage, and new. Do you plan these decoys? Like, is this in the game plan, or is it like you're seeing how it's flowing and you're like, I can pull this, and you just do it?
So I do play possum, man. But playing possum is such a dangerous game because you have to take damage, right? But I do practice this in the gym. But it mostly works for those guys that's super aggressive, you know. And one of my in the fight with Nick, you know, people didn't catch it, but I did play possum twice against him. There was one with the head kick, and then I tried to lean in and throw a left cross, but it didn't land. And then the third round, I knew mentally he has to try to get a finish, so that's why I tried to bait him in, you know. But for this fight, I had already took a few jabs that landed, you know, and in my mind I was like, okay, let me see if he throws it again. So as soon as he threw it and it hit me in the nose, I was like, okay, this is the time. And then that's when I touched my nose and started backing up, baited him in, and then that's when I threw the right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you got the right, goes down, you grab the neck, he fights it a little bit. You can kind of tell it was already over. I mean, you were fully strangulation at that
Oh yeah,
point.
when I get the neck, it's a struggle to get out for sure.
And I'm gonna pull a question from the commentator on there. He asked this at every UFC event. What were the emotions like when it hit you? Like, the job is done. You are the new CFFC interim champion.
Man, it was yeah, I'm still shocked, man. Like it still feels unreal. But again, I've said in previous interviews, there was never any doubts in my mind because my coach Frank, he saw this already. Like he already told me this was the year. So I already knew what was gonna happen. I didn't know it was gonna happen this way. Like me when I thought it was gonna go honestly, I thought I was gonna go to the fifth round. You know, we were gonna just again bang it out. Like that's what I was thinking. But I never had any doubt in my mind that I was gonna lose or anything like that. But it's still like even today, it's still like a shock. Like it's still coming to me. But I think once I found out what's going on with Watley, I think it is sit in more. You know, because even though I am the champ is still like an asterisk, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can look at a for another interim title poster. He got his answer a week later. He got lucky. His timing was a lot better. His was touring contender series. He won his title. The next week, the current champ won a contract.
Right.
Easy, no delay, knew what was going on. I've heard some things, nothing official, but no one really knows what's going on with the champ. They just know
No.
he's waiting for something. Now, if he's
Mhm.
waiting for contender series, we're months away. We're like 5 months away.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Like, if
don't
he's waiting
and me how I am, man, like this was the longest that I've sat out. So I don't really want to sit out that long to fight. Like this is the time for me. So I don't want to wait around to fight anymore.
I promoted that at the end of last year. Like, you went 4 for 4, and it felt like you were fighting every other CFFC card. Ahead of this one, though, I pulled those numbers. Between the first and second, 91 days, second and third, 44 days, 41 days, and then this was 182 days.
Yeah.
Did the math. If you do about the 40, 50 days, it does take you to June 14th in Philly, which they have a card that has 2 titles already, though.
Mhm.
Is that too soon? Do you want to wait a little longer till maybe they come down to like Tampa? I know there's a. I don't know the schedule for CFFC, but I know there's a UFC card currently planned for Tampa. If the
Yeah, but
promotion's
yeah.
smart, maybe they do a Friday before the Tampa UFC card, double up. I mean, that's kind of your home ground. You put you on the main
Uh,
event, the real main event from the start. Is that of interest, or is it just fuck it, get me in the next fight?
so I I I really want to fight as soon as possible, but if there's the opportunity, so here's the thing: if the opportunity is Tampa or Vegas, I have to take those. Like those are the ones I have to take. So I'll probably end up because the reason I said that I would fight next month, the reason I told Route to put me on that card because I thought that that was the Vegas card. That's why that's why I was pushing for that. Like even now, like I'm ready to fight. Like I can fight knowing that it's not Vegas, and I can just wait out a little bit more. You know.
Yeah, fuck that guy who told you that information that it was Vegas because he was told it before. Um, but yeah, because I was equally surprised when I heard Philly. I mean, it's a card I want to go to. Philly's a lot closer, but
Yeah.
it made more sense when I thought it was Vegas. But outside of that, Tampa, Tunica, both in your closer to your area. You thinking one, two more, then contender series, one then contender series, or
I'm taking it day by day. I personally think one would get me to where I need to go. Because I've seen a lot of guys with 6-0 get on contender series. So I think if I do when I do a dominant uh victory, I think that'll get me to exactly where I need to be at. I'm still showing certain things. Like I wanted to show a little bit more in that fight, which I would have if it would have went longer. But I still think that I'm a very, very underrated fighter, man. Like I don't get the recognition, which is fine. People gonna overlook me, and I'm fine with that. But people, they look at tape and stuff like that, and they try to read some of the things that I do, but I just adapt when I'm in the cage,
one more thing I want to bring up too. When you came up here, yeah, it was your first pro title fight, but you had a nice entourage with you too. I know you had
man.
your team with you like on the corners. At first, they wouldn't didn't let your family in the cage. I get it because of
Yeah,
all the other commission issues. I've seen it happen even in Philly, where people in the cage until they realize, oh, it's the last fight. Maybe we could be a little more lenient. What do you have to say to like the people who made the trip up to you? I think I even saw some like gyms were showing it. I think Gracie Baja or Gracie Pac I think was showing it. A few other ones down there. I think a bar or two was showing it as well. What do you have to say to the people who like supported you in the arena and afar?
man, it's thank you guys for supporting me, man. I really have a lot of supporters, man. Like for them to even come out to travel, and them doing a watch party. Gracie Brennan did a watch party for me. So it's just a lot of support, man, and I appreciate that. Uh, I don't come from a big gym, like I don't come from like you see these UFC guys. You don't see someone say, oh, they're fighting out of Top Brothers or they're fighting out of Gracie Brandon. I mean, I cross train with guys like at Gracie South, but at the end of the day, the gyms that I actually fight out of, like a Team 4 and stuff like that, we're not on the map, so we're going to be overlooked. We're coming out of small gyms, so it's exciting to see the support that I'm getting.
Nice. And now the interim lightweight champion. Once we hear the update, let's drop the interim, unify it, defend the real title, get you to the contender series, get you to the UFC. Um, I'll pass the mic to you. I mean, there's still sponsors that are there. They help you for this camp. They're going to still hang around. I'll give you the last word there, and we'll wrap it up.
Uh, Huge shout out to Team Reaper, K4 Studios, Rain and Berries out in South Tampa, Felicia Bakery, Big Brook Visuals. Huge shout out to to my gyms, Team Far, Top Brothers, Gracie Network, Kaizen. Thank you guys for letting me cross train there, and also Fusion. I'll be back out there soon, so appreciate you guys.
And
Oh, and Champions MMA out in Lakeland as well. Thank you.
awesome. And then I don't know what's next. I mean, we got to wait and see what the
Yeah.
schedule allows. I don't see a 182-day wait. I don't think you want to wait that long. 90 days is even like pushing it. So, I'm sure we'll see you back soon. And I think
Bro, if I wait that long, look how fat I'm already getting. Look at all the weight I'm already gaining, man. Come on, I ain't waiting that long.
I knew it was a while. I know we talked about what was holding some things up, but I didn't realize 182 days either. Like that was intense. So, but everyone, I'm gonna drop your links and all again below. Follow him. I'm gonna spell the name correctly in all the posts this time too. No autocorrect fails. And follow him. Obviously 5-0 now. Gonna keep it going.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming in again.